Boom, baby, we're live. Welcome to the Tokyo Crypto Show, episode number 93. Is the bull market over?
Zero.
Yeah, I'm here. We got the dream team today. We got Charlie from cultivatecrypto.com. We got Miguel, Dollar Cost Crypto, and we have Richard Cooper from the Titan of a YouTube channel, Entrepreneurs and Cars, who is an actual expert in traditional finance, and he's talking about we're going to be talking to him about debt and everything that's related to his business in the real world. How's it going, guys? Welcome to the show.
Doing good, thanks.
Good.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of people out there, a lot of FUD, a lot of nonsense, going on, and I'm seeing. Oh, look, Charlie, I think you may have deleted the wrong stream because this is not streaming to your channel.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
We have to get. Well, we'll work it out.
I'll work it out on the back end here, but just why
right.
don't you talk about what's going on here in the meantime, Charlie?
Yeah, Ethereum hit a new all-time high today. That's nice. Basically, all you really need to know in crypto right now is a couple things, right? Ethereum at $2,700, looking pretty good. Bitcoin at 55,000, holding support, not doing too bad itself, but still 10K below its all-time high. So Bitcoin's lagging behind. What does that do? Makes more time for the altcoins to basically start taking off. So we're getting into the mania part of the bull market. And I would say maybe not the mania part quite yet, but it's just at the very, very beginning part of it where we're kind of getting, if you look, I can pull it up a little bit later, but that psychology of a market chart where basically you start getting into the thrill phase of the market. People who have never truly experienced maybe a cryptocurrency bull market before might be a little bit blown away. My personal target for Bitcoin, and this is end of bull market, so whether that's the end of this year or whether that's sometime in 2022, but my bull market target for Bitcoin is about $240,000. Now, that is high by some people's standards. It's low compared to other people's, so I'd say it's a fair market price. On my show last week, I also showed in 2019, I had a chart that basically was aiming for that in the middle of 2022. And so I've been looking at this for about 2 years now. So ever since we started this show. I forgot about where that target was exactly on the chart, but it was still my target that I mentioned on the show multiple times. And it was just kind of a coincidence that somebody mentioned something on that show. But anyways, long story short, Bitcoin hit its low and things are looking good. And we're about to get a lot of green candles on all the coins that you guys love.
I love it. What do you think, Miguel? Because you're also, you're like so embedded deeply in the crypto world, like you live and breathe this stuff. What do you think? End of bull market, Bitcoin target. What are you thinking?
I mean, I'm pretty much in line here with Charlie. I'm a big bull, so like I think we're probably going to be 300, 400K. Honestly, if we get the ETF, it's over. It's a wrap. We're going.
Yeah, ETF is just light a fire under it.
Under everything, and even if we just hit the numbers that Charlie just said, that's $5 trillion market cap for BTC, and that also probably more than likely means that the Bitcoin dominance is going to be somewhere in the mid 30s. So we're talking about somewhere between like a $15 trillion market cap for all of cryptocurrencies, and that's a ton of money.
And Plan B, the guy who created the stock to flow ratio, basically he was aiming for Bitcoin. Right, for Bitcoin sometime within this bull market to hit the market cap of gold, which is around $10 trillion.
Yeah.
Whew, Jesus
and if
Christ.
that happens, then we have over $20 trillion in all market cap for all cryptocurrencies.
I think this is basically a crack in the dam. And, the water's flowing through. And I think it's just inevitable because I think more and more people, the unintentional, I think this whole, beer bug thing was all about printing money. I think it was all about getting Trump out of office and printing more money to kind of continue to kick the can down the road from one legislation to the other, or excuse me, one administration to another. But I think with what's going on right now in regards to the market as of now, we saw Bitcoin take a double hit. Like I personally, it's not a coincidence that Coinbase, they have the week of their IPO. Bitcoin pumps the new prices. All of a sudden, IPO's over, Bitcoin crashes. Biden mentions the capital gains thing, upping to 39% from 39 to like 43%. Bitcoin the markets in general take another crash hit, and here we are now, not even 2 weeks later, and Ethereum's smashing all-time highs. Obviously, the thing with Ethereum, the Berlin update had something to do with that, right? I'm pretty sure. Like, I think the I think Ethereum was kind of like stuck in third gear, and now that they got rid of the fee problem, because everybody's complaining about the fees. I mean, did it smash the all-time high again? Because I know it hit 2,700. Was it at right now?
Yeah, it was just at 2,700 when we started the show. Right now, it's at 2,685. The all-time high today, all-time high for forever, but also it's the high for today was 2,735, basically. So, doing really good. In Bitcoin dominance, I can show these charts here in a little bit, but Bitcoin dominance is hovering right around 50%. And looking like it's probably going to jump down below 50% next week, or maybe even by the end of this week, which the alts will start to be screaming. And right lines up with Cinco de Mayo, with the Uniswap V3 launch, which Miguel's been talking about here for over a month and a half.
Rich just scored a brand new McLaren. This guy wants to know if you're going to take it to the moon with you.
it's so fast that it feels like it could take off and fly to the moon. But yeah, no, it's staying in my garage. I'm not flying it anywhere. I'm not going to put it in space like Elon Musk puts his car in space.
Rich, the thing about Rich here that's really interesting is because Rich came from a debt consolidation business, and he helped people get rid of their debt. That's the name of his company. His company is in Canada. Super successful company. He's been doing it for a very long time, over a decade. And so now, Rich, I remember about, I think it was like 2019-ish. You were kind of like, you kind of gave the same answer that Mark Cuban gave. You're like, cryptocurrency is kind of speculative. Put 10% of your portfolio into it. Now your tune has kind of changed, and you're really dialed in with the traditional finance world. What was just your overall justification for that?
Well, like in 2017, when I first started looking at this, it was like, oh, this is interesting. Like I had a conversation back in 2013 with Amir Rosic. We had lunch, and he's like, yeah, I'm going all in on this Bitcoin thing. And I'm like, you're crazy, dude. And he's like, no. Here's all the reasons. I'm like, cool. I wish you all the luck, but I still think you're crazy. It was around like 2016, 2017, where it's like, okay, it's kind of obvious that there's something going on here, that there's some traction. It has utility. It's better than gold. It's better than many other things, and it solves a lot of problems. And I was like, okay, so I started putting like 5% of my money into it. Then it crashed in 2018. Then I just saw it as a sale. I'm like, fuck it, I'll keep throwing some more money into it over time, and it just kind of piled up. And by like this year and the last year, I've been very bullish on it. Like I've probably in the last 12 months, I've moved from 5% positions that I had in 2017 to maybe 50% or more. And I use like company money that I have in holdco investments. I use my personal money. Like I use any available funds that I have coming in. Like if I have a private equity loan that's maturing and I've got 70 grand coming in, it's like, okay, a lot of that's going to go into crypto or, varying different, crypto assets. So yeah, I'm super bullish on it, and I've put my money where my mouth is, and it's just going to continue to be that way for me until I see otherwise, until I see proof otherwise that it's not a good idea.
You're going to need a bigger garage for the Lambo.
Maybe just get a second McLaren.
Yeah. Stack them up, right? Yeah, I think we're just getting ready to see something. Because for me, obviously, I'm not as technically savvy as Charlie, and I'm just not as fundamentally dialed in as Miguel. But the one thing that I knew that was clear as day for 2021, I personally think altcoin of the year is Ethereum for a simple investment that the average idiot can just get into. And like now, we're literally in the midst of Ethereum taking off. When was the Berlin fork? It was like what? Like
it was around the Coinbase launch. I think the same day as Coinbase launch.
The exact same day. Yeah, it was to hide some gas fees. They upped some fees on some contracts, but they also stopped spamming on these trading bots. So it made it harder for the trading bots to then keep increasing the gas fees. So that's why the gas fees are down like 30-40% right now on average.
Wow, and that's
So
huge.
if I take my Ether right now in MetaMask and I want to swap it, then you're saying the fees are going to be 30% cheaper right now?
Yeah, they're cheaper overall. Yeah, because before, if you look on any of the core market cap sites, they have something called GUI. When the higher that number is, the more you'll pay in gas fees. So right now it's in the mid, I would say, 50s. I would say for gas, if I looked really quickly. Yeah, Yep, it went up a little bit. So it's because we just hit all-time high, so obviously people are trading. But normally before the upgrade, this would be 130, 140 Gwei. So that would mean you're talking about maybe $100 per transaction. Right now, you're probably doing somewhere in the 60s. So not too shabby. Yeah.
Or even lower. I mean, over the weekend, a lot of the fees were around like $20, $30.
Yep.
Which was, it's still pretty high. I mean, the last bull market, Bitcoin's, everybody's complaining about high fees on Bitcoin, like towards the end of the last bull market in November of 2017. Oh my God, $40 fees. And then Ethereum, you're like, damn, this bull market. So it's good
Miguel,
that they lowered it.
I want to bring up that real quick because I think it's really valuable information for the squad.
Sure.
So what he's talking about, he's here. This is the number. It's hard to see, but if you go to coinmarketcap.com, another thing, I think it's a really big tell that dominance is no longer just Bitcoin. Now they do have Ethereum here, right? That's huge.
New.
And then Ethereum gas. This is the Gwei. So you want this number to be as low as possible. So right now it looks like the average fee is, and this is on a scale of 100.
No, it's infinite. It can go as high as that, but basically the high, it's calculated as like that's like a Satoshi. That's like 76 Satoshis basically.
Okay.
So that's the lowest. Gwei is kind of the lowest ranking for an Ethereum transaction. So right now it's that right there. Typically, if it's above 100, it's pretty expensive. Below 100, it's pretty reasonable. So it's a great time.
Is there a time of the day when the gas fees are always low?
Oh, late at night. So you're on the East Coast, right? So it's Eastern Standard Time. So it'd be probably your 11 at night or so, because it's all pretty much when Asia's asleep. There's this in between time between Asia and Europe and awake. Yeah,
Asia's awake.
With Europe. Yep.
Yeah, middle of our day around like 2 p.m. Japan time. I think that's, like you said, like between your 11 Eastern Standard Time is probably between like 11 to maybe 1 a.m., 11 p.m. to 1 a.m., something like that.
Japanese people are so predictable during this bull market. Like every Friday, like in the morning, the price takes a little bit of a bump. And then Friday evening, everybody cashes out. They go to the fucking Kamakura. They go drinking. They go to the strip clubs. And then Sunday, everything starts to go back up. You could tell them like, fuck, I spent too much money this weekend. Because the Japanese love Forex, okay? These guys really love Forex. They love gambling too. And then crypto is, like I said, it's a legal currency in Japan. So if you get like a speeding ticket, you could pay in crypto. You could pay your taxes in crypto and only in Bitcoin at the moment. But they're also rolling out the J coin. Is it this summer, Charlie?
So no,
J-coin.
The Japanese currency.
Yeah, central bank
digital yen.
Yep.
Really?
They're gonna be field testing it, I think, at some point this year, and then they're probably going to be continuing testing it next year. Most governments will be testing through next year, but China for the Olympics next year, the Winter Olympics in February, will actually be allowing foreigners, not only just the Chinese citizens, to be using their digital yuan.
Is it a limited token, or is it like they can make as many as they want?
They can make as much as they want. So it's the same as
it's like
fiat money.
Currency. It'll be pinned to like the yen. It'll just be digital, like the USDC then.
Exactly.
Except with more rules on it.
Yeah.
See, guys, that's why I'm here, because I'm here to ask the basic questions.
No, it's really important.
It is.
No,
it's good.
And just to kind of fill you in on that, like basically most central banks of any major country will all have what we call central bank digital currencies by probably about the year 2026. So the EU, the United States, Canada, Japan, China, all these major countries will.
Are they all being built as decentralized?
Nope.
Okay, so they're all centralized. So they're basically run by the banks. Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, they're just playing. They're playing late. They're playing catch up, and the people that are gonna buy into it are the same fucking idiots that are buying into the current system now. So the smart people, we're on the other side of history right now, and we're gonna. I mean, the people who've been following us and watching us, they've already made phenomenal gains. And we're going to keep on doing that because we're on the side of history that everybody wants to be. Like, nobody wants this decentralized stuff. I personally think it's hilarious that Facebook, Libra completely crashed, and they're like, okay, we're gonna give it another go. Now we're gonna call it DM. And I just think like people just they're it's the same thing. They're just gonna be like, no, because if I call somebody fat, or if I say like, I hate feminists or something, some like extreme comment on Facebook, boom, you're locked, your money's locked. And I don't think they just don't get it.
Well, there's a rumor over the last day or two that Facebook, when they come out with their quarterly report at the end of this month, that they'll show Bitcoin on their balance sheet, because if they're going into that like with serious intentions, they're going to have to start getting involved in cryptocurrency as well, which then what does that lead to? The domino effect. Apple, Google, I mean, what are they going to have to do eventually? Right? Monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah, and then especially with the Winklevoss twins, like Zuckerberg's got an eye on them.
Oh, yeah, they got somewhere. They got plenty of Bitcoin. So yeah, Zuckerberg just has to get more.
Yeah, he financed that.
Yeah, exactly. With the settlement.
Yeah. Elta says MLD is right about the 10 Ethereum target. As far as I can see, if you can get that and you have patience, then you're going to be set up right. What I said, because all 2019 and 2020, I was saying, before it was hip to be into crypto, I said every man as a contingency plan should own one Bitcoin. I said it's theoretically it's speculative investment. I had to say that to cover my ass, but I said just every man should have that one Bitcoin. Unfortunately, now with Bitcoin currently in the mid $55,000 range, that is now very, very unachievable for the average person. However, a good contingency plan is going to be 10 Ethereum. Okay, for all you guys that are non-crypto, just get your hands on 10 Ethereum, hold on, and then early Q2 next year, you'll see where you are. I think that's a very reasonable goal.
Pretty damn quick, because I remember when you first started saying that Ethereum was around $1,000, right? And it was about equivalent to that one Bitcoin. When you were saying everybody should have one Bitcoin, that was around $10,000. When you said everybody should have one Ethereum, 10 Ethereum, that was when Ethereum was $1,000, right? Now, if you buy 10 Ethereum, it's about $27,000 to buy 10. So better get on it.
Yep. Time is definitely running out. Charlie, how about this? Let's take a look at Ethereum, because it's hot right now.
Yep.
And then let's look at Bitcoin after, and then let's look at Bitcoin dominance, if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course. That's the health of the market. Sounds good to me.
Here we go. You got full screen. Go ahead.
Alrighty. So Ethereum. Yeah. I mean, if we pull it back to the weekly chart, we just look at it compared to the rest of its history, right? Here's the previous all-time high in 2017. Here's where we are now, right? Clearly going to zero. But and yeah,
I knew it.
I mean, when did we start the Tokyo Crypto Show? Let's see. It was February, right around this candle here, that one red candle with the big wick on top, right here. I would say, let's say you bought the top of that candle, right? And you bought it $164. There would have been 2 times, right, when that price went under there. And then since then, boom, pretty much almost only up, right? So pretty good there. And so Ethereum, right, has its next area of like pretty much solid support at its previous all-time high. So when it broke out here, if we zoom in a little closer for the guys on their phones, when we broke out of that previous all-time high, which is this yellow line right here, it came back, tested it to the T once, and then tested this uptrend a second time. And then, yeah, basically the last, 5 weeks, basically all green right there. You put on the Bollinger Bands, and we're getting a little resistance at the current area. So if Ethereum ends the week, I would say above $2,700, it's going to start opening up those resistance lines, and which means it's going to have less resistance to the upside. If it were to shoot up in either this week or next week, the next logical area of resistance after where it's currently at is about $3,200. So we can see $3,000 Ethereum here probably within the next few weeks, maybe even in the next 1 week, right? So, and then if we go, for those short-term guys, the guys who are like, wondering, should I buy now? What should I do? All this stuff. Well, Ethereum wicked down here today to about 25.65. That was your chance. So pretty much it's time to grab it if you don't have enough or don't have any. You still time. So when that's the basics of Ethereum, right? It broke past its previous high, and now it tested it once here on today's wick, and it's going to likely close above there and continue up. So I wouldn't be, looking for too much dip on there. But if we go over to Bitcoin, right, we're still in, well, not still in a downtrend. We broke that downtrend and we're coming up here. So it's not quite as active as Ethereum. And you can see the difference here since about, I would say, either February 28th or March 25th. The end of those 2 months, we had a little bit of dip here each of those times. And Bitcoin did as well, right? Here's February and here's March. But Bitcoin had a pretty big struggle trying to get that new all-time high. So it's clearly, whereas Ethereum, had no problem doing that multiple times. So Ethereum is stronger than Bitcoin right now, but Bitcoin is what runs the market. So the reason why Ethereum is allowed essentially to go and make a new all-time high is because Bitcoin ended this downtrend. And so I expect Bitcoin as well to start testing 60K again here in the next few weeks, or even next few days. So, just be careful, pay attention. Don't look for too many discounts because we're already there. I would say this pullback went all the way below 50K. A lot of people didn't think Bitcoin would go back below 50K anytime soon. And we had that one chance, right, to buy below 50K there. So this just says the market right now is doing pretty good and time to be being a little bit more aggressive than you would usually be, because, thinking about it, right, on Bitcoin, if we were to go and look at, all right, what we've been saying since 2019 is looking for this 90,000 to 100,000 region conservatively, right? And we said this year, in the first quarter of this year, we'd hit 27,000. We hit that in February. And then if we're going towards the 240 area that I'm looking at, let's see here, 240. Right. Well, let's just put it right around there, not to be exact. How much of an increase would we get going to those two targets? Basically, from the current area, if you were to go to that 100,000 mark, that'd still almost be a double, right? That'd be an 82% increase on Bitcoin. And going up to that 240,000, that'd be about a 340% increase on Bitcoin. You don't get that in any other asset. And Bitcoin does move up 200% plus it's done that many, many times. So that's not even a ridiculous goal for Bitcoin at all. And so these pullbacks that we got over the last 2 weeks are important, so that if we could just go straight up there, then the crash is so much harder. So that's positive. And then looking at Bitcoin dominance, this is the beautiful thing.
Fucking Christ, that's insane.
Yeah, losing
I didn't know
dominance
it was that bad.
Yeah, over the last, month and a half, Bitcoin dominance has just fallen, right? Bitcoin's been doing not too much, and Ethereum's been doing a lot, and so have the altcoins. So there's this little trend line right here for what was support, and then we also have these little box areas of support. We basically broke through that bottom of that trend line, or we're looked like we're going to be closing below that on this weekly candle. This candle means 1 week of price action. We have 4.5 days until that closes. If it does close below this line, because it's already closed below this trend line, which is at about 50%, then there's not too much holding the altcoins back. There's not too much previous history down in this space. So you could see something kind of nuts, like something along these lines where the altcoins kind of go crazy, Bitcoin takes over for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, you get stuff like this. And Bitcoin dominance goes down. Of course, Bitcoin dominance will come back at some point, and Bitcoin will remind everybody who's king in the market. But right now, it's time for Ethereum and the altcoins to have their fun.
Yeah, no. And just so you guys know, so basically what Bitcoin dominance is, once again, it's like what is the majority of all the money in cryptocurrency, what percentage is actually in Bitcoin. So as of right now, this moment, it's at 49.3%. And the more Bitcoin dominance goes down, typically what happens is this money flows into other projects, altcoins, and this is what people call alt season. And they say, hey, alt season is here, and then all the shit coins pump, all the garbage out there. Just, it doesn't matter what it is. If it has, a relative following, it'll pump. And it can be lucrative, but you will lose a lot of money if you don't know what you're talking about. Charlie, or actually, Miguel, would you mind commenting on what you think about? I think this coin is really slept on, and only we are really talking about it. But Uniswap, can you talk a little bit more about Uniswap token? And that just smashed an all-time high yesterday as well.
Yeah, this is a token that we've been calling since the beginning of I would say the quarter one course.
Oh, dude, it's
And
all-time high right now.
it's
41.20, 49 right now, $41.90.
So there's a reason I actually even chose. I've been saying specifically this date it would actually launch up, because typically what's going to happen is the YouTubers 1 week before a major upgrade, they always start talking about it. Just 1 week. We've been telling you guys since it was about $22 or even earlier actually to start buying it up, because there's something called Uniswap V3. So just to go back, what Uniswap is, Uniswap's the biggest exchange on the planet for cryptocurrencies. It's bigger than Coinbase. It more volume gets done on one day on there than Coinbase does, comparatively. So even more than Binance and anything else. So that's how big Uniswap is. It's an Ethereum only RC20 exchange, and what's going on is on May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, there's going to be a huge upgrade to it. The whole UI is going to be redone. You're going to be able to yield farm better on there. There's going to be more ways to make more money on there, and effectively the token's going to be generating 5 to 7 times more income per token. So just based off just the income numbers coming from the token, it was way undervalued. Like my fair market value for the token's about like 120 to about 160 for the
By when?
End of May. Like literally, like it's.
Wait. You think Uniswap is going to be $160 by the end of May?
Well, 120 to 160. That's kind of that's how hyped up this thing's going to be, because if the way a lot of people in crypto sort of do their calculations on what a token should be valued in, especially in decentralized assets like that, and DeFi is TVL, which is like total. Which is basically just total money locked up in the protocol. With the way they're going to be doing, they're changing up how money gets deposited onto the thing. So beforehand, right, you could deposit money onto Uniswap, and your money they give you something called an LP token, which is a liquidity pool token. That liquidity pool token, you can take it off of Uniswap and put it anywhere else, because the Uniswap contracts are so safe and protected. They've gotten billions and billions of dollars of money in there deposited, so they have not been hacked. They're really safe. So people, even other platforms like Sushi, what they do is, hey, bring your liquidity pool tokens over here, and so we can farm them, right? So what's going on happen is they're changing the token, instead of being an RC20 token, they're changing it to an NFT. So they essentially just cut all the competitors out of the market. So basically, if you want to play around over here, you got to play around in this. So not only that, right? Now all the competitors can't steal liquidity anymore. So the amount of liquidity that's going to start hopping off of other platforms back onto Uniswap is going to shoot the amount of money under management skyrocketing. On top of that, they are going to start charging an extra small fee on liquidity pool providers. It's about 15 basis points of a fee that never was there. So just based off of that, of how much money that's on there, it's such a massive increase in the money the token generates. It's insane. It already, if you actually know about the Uniswap Foundation, they have more money than Ethereum Foundation has. That's how much money Uniswap has more money in its pool of reserves than actually Ethereum has in reserves, the Ethereum Foundation. That's how massive this is. And they just added all these extra fees on top of that, as well as the new part of the casino is something called the curve. So not only do they curve stomp people doing vampire techs, they curve stomped a lot of their competitors like Curve DAO by essentially taking and making a better version of their market, of their entire business model, actually. So basically you can concentrate your liquidity. So when you put money into Uniswap, you can concentrate your liquidity. The liquidity gets spread amongst the entire curve. So it means when you buy $1, you have money kind of resisting it. So when you purchase, you're always having resistance. Now what people can do is concentrate the liquidity in like a little price range. So imagine you're like $1 to $1.02. And then while it stays in there, you generate like almost 1,000x returns in terms of fees. So people who are really good at figuring out where the price can hold can start generating a tremendous amount of income. So what's going to happen is the money that's generated from the space is just going to shoot up like crazy, which is going to give these traders and these whales more money to buy up more tokens. So prices are going to go up. Yeah. And that's not even all. Like there's some other stuff happening in the end of May.
And there's more.
And there's more. Whew, I'm telling you, May is going to be crazy for Uni. I mean, man. Like we can get into it a little bit more, but it's
and our man Gary V might even be pumping it. He's been hinting towards it. He's been in his tweets. He keeps talking about May 5th and like cryptically saying stuff. He keeps talking a little bit about optimism, about Ethereum, all
Mhm.
these things. He hasn't mentioned Uni specifically, but it'll be interesting to see if he goes about pumping up.
And that's the name of the update, is the optimism update. Yeah.
No.
Right.
That's
Well-
that's later in May.
Right.
This-
That's what I'm
this-
saying. The hinting at
It's
it.
it's basically something he can say in a sentence as
Mhm.
like a natural word that would hint towards basically Uniswap
As
in
well.
general, right? A Uniswap improvement that we get later.
And then for all the people watching, just here's the number one thing. The number one reason why Uniswap is as popular as it is because it's decentralized. There's literally no room for corruption, right? If you want trade your Ethereum for, hell, even RGT's on there. RGT, Celsius, Dot, Kusama, any ERC20 token, you can put it on there and get it. No KYCs needed, right? Completely anonymous. The only thing you have to worry about is slippage, and that's like basically you may not get the exact ratio. It's like, let's say you have 500 Ethereum and like you want like, I don't know, 10,000 dot, like maybe you'll get like 9,950. So you'll lose that 50 bit of dot. However, if you get to stay anonymous, you don't want anybody in your business. You don't want fucking Trudeau. You don't want Biden. You don't want fucking Xi Jinping. All these motherfuckers coming there to take your money, right? You just take your money and then go in a boating accident and then you're good to go. Like,
Yeah, this is 2021 is going to be the year with the most tragic year ever, with the most boating accidents ever.
most boating accidents in human history.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're 99.9% correct. The only thing I just got to mention is like for Polkadot and Kusama, you can't get them because they're not Ethereum based tokens, since since Polkadot's its own ecosystem. But
Sorry,
it's all good.
What do you guys think of the Reef token? It's tied into Polkadot. Like, do you have any opinions on that?
Yeah, well, there's one thing about it which was interesting. They pissed off FTX, which is a exchange kind of in the making, right? And FTX tried to suppress the price by, once they were supposed to buy a bunch of tokens, they bought them, and then they just took them all, turned around, took them over to Binance, and sold them all to try to push down the price. So that was an open kind of, what do you call it?
Interpretation.
Yeah. Between the two, which wasn't great. So it wasn't a good look, but it wasn't a good look on both of them for a little bit. But besides that, Binance has been supporting it really well. So Binance Chain is getting a lot of, or not Binance, well, Binance Chain and just Binance in general. Binance is the top website that people look at in crypto. CoinMarketCap.com is number 2. And they've both been talking about Reef and talking about the pre-sale on that. But compared to other altcoins, personally, when I look at the chart, it's not something that I'm too interested in. I think there's a lot of better opportunities out there.
I'd have to agree.
I want to say also, like, with real quick, shout out to Charles Shore, $5 super chat. It says, nice to see Rich today. Thank you so much for the donation. Jerry, one of Rich's friends, is in the house. Says, do they have an overweight single mother coin? Yes. Yes, that's the Walmart Golem coin. The Walmart Golem coin.
My precious.
So yeah, the number one thing is that it really pisses me off. Like, I mean, I know you shouldn't hate people or whatever, but I just fucking hate Alex Becker. And and the reason I hate him is because he keeps on putting out shit like this, right? And then it's just people that are so unsuspecting, they have no idea what's going on. So on April 18th, 10 days ago, he puts out, I sold, Bitcoin bull run may be over. So anybody with one iota of intelligence knows that there is literally zero logic to this. And what's crazy is because we're so fortunate in our ecosystem of information over here. We are really just hitting home runs nonstop. And I'm a part of some other groups and stuff. And like people have telling me like, hey, Doge is a really good investment, right? And then I had this guy, I had this guy because I made a comment on some page that they're like, Facebook's Libra is going to like destroy us all. And I was like, dude, actually they canceled the Libra program. Like you should probably do your research before you do that. And the guy replied to me, and I just want to show you what he said real quick. And just so you guys can see the sentiment out there in the market and be grateful for us. This guy replied to me, how about you actually research and study cryptocurrencies? I bet you are a Doge holder. XRP, Cardano, XLM, EOS, Hedera Hashgraph are the future. Not all of these shit coins with no utility behind them.
Except for the ones he mentioned.
Bro, that's the biggest cap.
Like autistic mental retardation all blended up together in a shake.
Pretty
Right?
much.
I mean, Cardano going on how many? Going on 4 years with not a single project on it.
Hey, we may make fun of Cardano. It's the only one of those that's probably going to sustain a price pump. But
I agree.
Yeah.
Cardano is.
I know you've been bullish about the price, except for the projects behind it for quite a long time.
Yeah, it's laughable as a project, but I mean, this guy's using it basically as like the world's money laundering token, and it's working. It's working.
He mentioned
Amen.
DOS. I was selling that token in 2018 for $5. It's $5 today.
Yeah, I know. And then he also talks about Ripple, which we don't even need to talk about that.
Yeah.
Stellar Lumens also, and it's just like, so what we're trying to say is like, because you know the crypto mindset course has ended. It ended a while ago, and there's really nothing going on. Obviously, I'm launching a Masculine Empowerment Network tomorrow, and Charlie and Miguel and the whole team will be in there helping you guys with your crypto questions. But we've noticed that, you know, we kind of just, you know, Charlie took a little break off of YouTube after the his course was done, and we just kind of noticed that some of you guys out there are already straying and kind of falling victim to these alternative narratives out there. And you know, and then some people in my community, like Ethereum hits an all-time high, my DMs blow up. Should I buy? Should I buy? Should I buy? And I was like, you should have bought last week when it was $2,200, $2,100.
Or
Charlie?
November before the course. I think it was while we were on Rich's show for the first time. We told literally everybody on our channels, buy Ethereum. Hopefully you've packed as much Bitcoin as you have. Now focus on buying Ethereum, right? And then in January we came back, said it again in February, right? It's like, how many times do we have to say this before, you know, it really gets through?
Yeah.
And like, how many boneheads were in the comments on that cast where they're like, oh, it's a scam, these guys don't know what they're talking about, they're all like,
yeah, it was the first year and a half of me running my channel.
I think that if you've watched, you know, what John and Charlie and Miguel have been talking about, and if you've been in the Cultivate Crypto course, when does that launch again, Charlie, by the way? Is that June?
Yeah, it'll be in June. We'll mention it a little bit more in detail.
Top secret.
Okay.
Top secret.
Yeah.
Top secret.
Okay,
Some
cool.
idiot
I got some
leaked
guys
it.
that are asking me about it anyway. I'm just telling them to hold off and wait and sign up for the next one.
Appreciate it.
It's clear to me that there's enough evidence that these guys know what they're talking about, right? And they haven't led me astray. And I'm telling you to pay attention because I think they know what they're talking about. These like get rich quick, pump and dump. Hey, look at Alex Becker's next video. I dumped my Bitcoin to buy this new shit token. You know, let's all pile in. He's lying to you. He's doing it to pump it up for himself so that he can make a nice exit. Okay, that's a common strategy, you know, on the YouTubes. And there's a lot of morons out there that are shilling lies, you know, and grifting. It's just, as a guy, you have to learn the skill to see through the crap. It's tough, but you're going to have to learn that skill. I mean, you know, sometimes you might get burned, or maybe you don't, you know, because you listen to people and know what they're actually talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, we appreciate that. And yeah, we did a show a couple of weeks ago about, you know, 10 things not to do in a bull market. Yet there are still people who we say the fire's hot and they go, okay, let me try it. Oh yeah, you're right. You know, so, you're always going to get that. I guess there's some things, like I always tell people, like, if you want to try that stuff, right, have 80% of your portfolio be in stuff that you're not going to touch, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polkadot, Celsius, these types of things. And then have 20% of your portfolio if you want to play in a sandbox and have a little fun. If you lose that 20%, walk away from that part of the casino, right? And go back to your savings account, right? And don't touch it. Just watch it and learn and study while the bull market is happening as you're making money. Understand why you're making money, basically, so that the next time the bull market comes around, you can make even more, right? Because we're going to have multiples of these throughout this decade. And so that allows people at least a little bit to go and play in that area. But for the most part, yeah, people tend to lose, exactly like you're saying, and they can't see, especially if it's their first bull market, they can't see the difference between those coins. And so, you know, there's a little bit of skin you have to put in that game just to kind of understand it. But me and Miguel, we've made all the mistakes in the books. That's why we're able to avoid those in the future and hopefully help you guys too as well.
Yeah. And again, like, I think Miguel is like, dude, you're such like a fucking genius in this stuff. I think that it just pisses me off that all these people that have big channels, that they just don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And like, you're so dialed in. And the thing is, like, guys out there, I understand you don't have time to like be dialed in all the time. You got work, you got job, you got kids, you got girlfriends, whatever it is, right? So I understand that, but that's why we made this show, right? All we say is just tune in and we do all the work, and then we just, we cut the bullshit so you don't have to fall for crap like Safe Moon and like all these coins that these fucking normies are talking about, and we give it to you. We just give it to you straight. We give you the TLDR, which all you guys want.
I was gonna say is, it's bad when they literally have memes talking about people wanting to buy Safe Moon but understanding that it's a Ponzi scheme at the same time. Like, it's like, oh my god.
That's another big pump and dump that we saw in the last week, right?
Rich, do you know about Cum Rocket?
I got an email the other day on some new titty coin. Some chick sent me an email about a new titty coin that's coming out, and so I clicked the email. I'm like, all right, what's this crap? And it's apparently some like breast cancer awareness token or some shit like that.
Oh god!
It's like, there's 9,500 tokens. I mean, there's like, you're gonna have to dig through some dirt to find gold in there, right?
Oh yeah. It's just it's just, I don't know. Where do you think?
It's like dating. It's like women, right? Like, you got to spin plates. You got to dig through dirt to find gold. It's the same thing. It's no different.
Yep.
Oh yeah. So what do you think is causing this FUD? Like this people, like, the bull market's over. Like for us, it's clear as day. This is like the dumbest thing anybody could say. But where do you think it's coming from?
Most people aren't very smart. I mean, it's pretty obvious to me.
All right, guys, we'll see you next week.
A good chunk of the population is sheep. I mean, like, you still see people simping for wearing masks and vaccines and, political values that don't serve you. Like, people still think the government's going to save them, right? People simp for losers on YouTube that are full of lies and bullshit. Like, people have some difficulty seeing through the crap. And I get it, because bullshit baffle brains. Like, one of the things that I learned when I was younger, I was in my 20s, and my friend's dad, who was a very successful entrepreneur, he ran this, he basically ran one of the largest circuit board plants here in Toronto, before the Asian market collapsed everything here and they had to move it offshore. But he said, bullshit baffles brains. And most people get baffled by these big stories about success, or buy this and you'll make money, take my course and you'll slay 1,000 women, like, whatever the bullshit narrative is. You have to learn the skill of seeing through the bullshit, and it's hard. You're going to get burned a few times. You're going to buy the wrong thing. You're going to be told something and go and try out and find out that it doesn't serve you, or hey, maybe you end up in jail with a rape charge for 8 years or some bullshit, right?
Yep. And then, Elta says, I think I've completely underestimated the scams most people are going to get sucked into. It's going to be insane when people pile in en masse. I mean, it's kind of gone down the memory hole, but I mean, I remember BitConnect.
I remember that.
Verge.
Because we still haven't seen, the cash reserves of the top fortune companies pile into cryptocurrency, especially Bitcoin yet, right? Yeah. Like, Elon Musk goes and buys some Bitcoin, then he sells it, and he's like, I just wanted to make sure that you could actually buy it and sell it. Oh, okay, dork. But there's something like 400 $400 trillion? Was it 400 trillion or 400 billion? I mean, I did the math on that post that we were talking about last time I was on with you guys, with Facebook, Google, Oracle, like all the big companies.
How much money is invested, like, in market cap?
Sitting on loads of US dollars in cash that hasn't
definitely
been,
trillions,
converted to Bitcoin yet. And Michael Saylor is the only smart guy that's done that yet.
Yeah. And so, like, what Elon did was he bought his Bitcoin. He only sold 10% of it, and the reason he sold 10% was to prove to his shareholders, like, hey, we bought this, and now we sold it, and here's the cash. So for you fucking boomers,
that proves my point. The vast majority of the population is stupid. Like, if you actually had to go to that exercise to prove to your shareholders that Bitcoin is liquid, like, like, I would have said, you know what, you guys are fucking stupid. You're all fired. You're no longer my fucking board of directors. I'm not selling it. We're just going to keep buying more, right? But I mean, you don't have that option when you have a board of directors and shareholders. You've got to bend the knee to them to, like, do these stupid things.
Yeah, and that's why I want to tell you too, Rich. Like, you're definitely you're in way better of a position with your knowledge than you think you are. Because I know you don't associate with dumb people. So, but they're out there and they're all thinking Dogecoin is going to go to $10. And
Hey,
so,
man,
I
it's
try to
definitely
be
going to
careful with my
$1 this
time
bull
and try to
market.
protect it. I mean, like you see me along the way firing people and getting rid of them. I mean, it's one of the chapters in my book, right? Hire slow, fire fast. When you identify somebody's an idiot or they're providing useless information, boom, they're out. Get rid of them.
Yep. Rest in peace, Tom Bombadil.
Is that guy still chirping in, man?
He's gone.
I thought he was a saved soul, and then he just went like, total like full retard.
It's all right. He's gonna be a millionaire. So, Charlie, you're saying though you think I think Doge is also gonna hit $100 or $1. I think Doge it's definitely gonna hit $1.
If it can pump to 40 cents, it's gonna pump to $1, maybe.
Surprised.
But like, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm still not buying it. Like,
no,
I mean, the time to buy it would have been on what do you call it?
But it was 3 cents like a month ago.
Yeah, if you brought it on April Fool's Day, it was like 5 cents. You buy 69,000 of them, 69,420 of them. You sell it on 420 for 42 cents. Boom.
what does that put you at? Like a millionaire? No. That
depends on how much. No, it's like a $3,500 investment or something. I did the math on it. I was like, man, that would have been genius, but really stupid at the same time.
One advice I can give to people is just stay away from anything TikTok does. Just stay away. If you want to not lose your money, just stay away from TikTok.
Yes.
Maybe TikTok might be good 4 or 5 years from now. Not right now. It is nothing but scams and bullshit. Literally, just stay away.
Yeah.
They actually run radio ads here talking about how TikTok has saved people during the COVID pandemic, how following TikTok and being inspired by the nonsense on TikTok is now saving you. And people listen to this shit. Like you hear the radio show afterward talking about, oh, I was so inspired by this TikToker. And it's like, you moron.
Yeah, but you know who that's paid for, right? That's paid for the boys over in China. Yep. They know it. And they're collecting all that juicy data while you use TikTok away.
Yeah. I would never ever put TikTok on your phone ever. If you're gonna mess around with TikTok, you have to have it's got to be a burner phone because they're sensitive, especially when now with cryptocurrencies, data just became money. Now that data is really.
So what you're saying is I should take TikTok off your phone because I mean, like I don't write clips, but my editor takes clips off my main channel and I upload them to TikTok. So you're saying don't keep it on your phone, period.
For myself, I do not keep TikTok on my phone.
All right, I'm fucking deleting it, man. I could use a desktop app. Thank you. That's all I need to know. Fuck these guys.
Ryan Sullivan with the $5 super chat. Of course, BTC is liquid. Paxos provides OTC trades for exchanges and wealthy clients. I'll say this, and aside from my 10 Ethereum recommendation to everybody, if you can find yourself an OTC guy, you better hold on to that guy for dear life. That guy needs to be your best friend.
You guys have OTC guys there? You know where you all live?
Oh yeah, we're in
Asia. How does that work?
Man.
Like you just meet up with them, you give them the cash, and then you get the transfer into your ledger.
Yeah, it's a peer-to-peer transaction.
Yeah, and you're always paying in cash because I got a few friends that have an OTC guy, I just haven't used them yet. Yeah,
no, Japan's a cash nation, so there's.
You guys know what OTC is? I mean, like, I don't know if it's been explained to the viewers.
Yeah,
and like why it's a good thing, right? Because you're not doxing yourself when you're buying this stuff.
Right, exactly. Over the counter, so it just basically means you take cash and you acquire cryptocurrency with your cash, and that's, like I said, that is seriously the best asset you can have, in my opinion. Like I think that's just, there's nothing better than having a legitimate OTC guy. If you can have an OTC guy in your pocket, dude, I mean, it's only, and you're buying legitimate coins. You're being smart. You're following the advice, like we're saying. Ethereum, obviously not financial advice. Don't sue us. Ethereum, Uniswap, Celsius, these things, and you have an OTC guy, bro. I mean,
what's the minimum that you need for an OTC guy? Like $100,000 or?
No. They just take a percentage. So I have two guys. I got a team of Japanese guys that take 3%, and I got this Chinese kid, and he takes 2%.
Okay, so if you've got like $10,000, you can go to the guy, and he takes his 2%. And you do it. Okay, got it.
Yep. They do it as low as like the kid's done like as low as like I think Mac the Day Gamer went for him with like $2,000 or something, and he did the transaction as well because it's a lucrative business too. It's an underground market, but it's super lucrative.
Shout out to Andre.
Yeah, there's some that are above ground as well, like that are KYC'd. Some people want that as well. There's all sorts.
What about the KYC light sort of platforms? Like we got one here in Canada called Paytree, where you don't need to like show a passport or a driver's license. They just basically, take some basic info like your name and that's it.
Yeah, are they connecting to your bank or not? Do you know?
Yeah, they're connecting to your bank. You do an email money transfer, and you can only buy stable coins with it. Like you can't buy conventional crypto.
I guess you have to do your due diligence with them and make sure that you can just trust them and take the money off of there as soon as possible after you do the transaction, probably.
Yeah, well, it doesn't even stay there. Like you actually buy it through them. They hit your bank account and then they transfer the crypto to whatever wallet address you give them. So it doesn't stay with them. Period.
Yeah, you have to do your research and due diligence, but if you think that they're trustable and it works, then it's a little bit shady. But you just have to be really careful with it.
Got it. I
like it. Talking about this super chat here, Rylite 499 super chat says met with MLD and CC Call of Crypto. Gains already on the way to I think it means 2x. Bullshit does baffle brains. Been telling people who bought into Dogecoin hype. It is called Dog E. Oh man, yeah. That like I said, there's gonna be a lot of people fleeced. Miguel, what's just your take on the market and the pulse and everything? What do you think is just gonna happen here from now? Let's just say from now until December. What's your take on the whole thing?
It's gonna be in 3 parts basically for the year. We're gonna get a big ramp up. We're pretty much going up for the entire summer. So with this whole summer is going to be amazing. Of course, there's going to be a little dip in there here and there, but the whole thing's pretty much capped off with something called EIP 1559, which just got announced for July 14th. That's a major Ethereum upgrade, and what's going to happen with that upgrade is it's essentially going to make Ethereum deflationary. So now it's inflation. It's going to be because right now it has an unlimited supply, so it can just keep inflating away. But with this EIP 1559, for every transaction that's done, a little bit of Ethereum is burned away, as well as there's a burning feature on the fees that the miners make. So the miners are going to become a little less profitable. It's going to start the whole process of making Ethereum proof of stake instead of proof of work, which is kind of like Bitcoin mining is. And what's going to happen is probably when that gets implemented by the end of the year, instead of there being 115 million Ethereum, there's going to be somewhere close to about 108 to 105 million Ethereum. So Ethereum's actually going to get rarer over time. So that's really bullish for the price. So I've been saying for a while we're going to hit about $6,000 by July for Ethereum. And honestly, I mean, it could go even higher, but like that's pretty much what I'm seeing right now. So people were calling me crazy for saying that like even a month ago, because I mean, we're talking about 1,000. There's like no way we're halfway there. We're 2x away pretty much.
Welcome to the club where the call is crazy. It's going to get worse as you get popular. VM Varga 10 euros says, guys, do you think there's still a possibility of regulations / bans
they're going to
imposed on crypto? Banks surely don't appreciate when someone is cutting in on their profits and monopoly.
That was my argument back in 2013 when I was talking to Amir, and he says, no, it's not going to go that way. This is the one space where it's not going to go that way.
Yeah, and like you mentioned there, Rich, they will try. They've been trying.
Try. Yeah, and they have been trying.
Yeah, but I mean, they're not going to allow Coinbase to get listed on the NASDAQ, right? If they think it's an enemy, they're going to find a way to make their monopolies profitable through cryptocurrency. And JP Morgan is even talking about opening a fund, actually they're in the process of opening a fund. It's actually confirmed that they will be opening a fund for their clients to allow them to invest in cryptocurrency. And good old Jamie Dimon, for the last 4 years have been saying basically Bitcoin's a scam, and now he has to eat his lunch and take it.
He was saying anyone that holds crypto is a dummy, and then his daughter's like, "But Dad, I have crypto." Alive on stage.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I always wanted a son. But yeah, I think it's funny to see that, the thing is, like, when you look into the fundamentals of it, you can't really stop crypto. Miguel, what were you telling me? Was it like 7% of all Bitcoin are on exchanges? Something like that?
No, I think it's a little bit more actually. I think it's like 7 to 12% of Bitcoin's on exchanges, just because people are buying it and just leaving it there. Pretty much. So there's a ton of cryptocurrencies on exchanges, but what's going on is that's actually going down. Back in the day, it was literally like 50% of all cryptos were on exchanges. People are starting to take custody of that, which is why the exchanges are starting, sometimes like they freak out because they're having trouble doing this whole like fractional reserving, which some exchanges do. So when you keep pulling crypto off the exchanges, they have to go and source them out, which helps drive the price up. Because if they have a lot of pooled Ethereum and Bitcoin on the exchanges, they can do shenanigans.
They don't offer a lot of incentive for you to keep like something like Bitcoin on an exchange. I mean, there's some that pay interest, but it's not much.
Yeah.
No. I mean, a lot of them are like services through like BlockFi or Celsius and stuff, which are probably the best places to earn interest.
I mean, if you got a moon bag with several Bitcoin, like why would you keep it on an exchange? If that thing gets hacked, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, you'd want like basically what we usually
spread it out if you're going to keep it somewhere to earn interest, but don't keep it all on an exchange. Or one of them anyway.
We generally tell people to keep less than 30% on the exchange or less than a third. That way, if something bad did happen, but basically what you're going to get here in the next few years, because the majority of people will end up using cryptocurrency at some point, because here's kind of the trajectory of this decade. Right now is kind of like the second 2017. But legitimized because of corporations and nations starting to accept this and get into it. Whereas in the last one, it was mainly retail purchases. And so then throughout the next bull market, and maybe in the middle of the decade, we have all these central bank digital currencies. We have, simple jacks like Nassim Taleb out there saying, basically saying central bank currencies are going to destroy cryptocurrency. It's going to take down Bitcoin. But what it's going to do instead is actually streamline adoption, because all of a sudden I send you my United States central bank digital currency, my digital dollar, my digital Canadian dollar, my digital yuan, my digital yen, whatever. Now everybody, up to your grandmother understands how to send a digital currency. That, oh, look, this is the one the governments are controlling and I'm losing value here year on year. And oh, look, there's this other thing called Bitcoin, which now I know how to transact in it. Just like it's going from, when, I use the postal service, I don't know what email is, I don't know what an @ sign is, I'm not going to use that, I'm going to use the postal service, to about 5 to 10 years later, everybody having like 10 different emails for different purposes, right? And everybody using it at work. So it's going to go down that road. And it's one of those things. That's why, we keep saying, we channel our inner Thanos and said, it's inevitable, but it's a joke, but it's all jokes are lined with some good truth.
Yep. It is inevitable. Like, the only thing that can happen is, the only thing that I could literally have concluded is that like an EMP hits, and like then we're all fucked.
Yeah, I've co-signed that. A lot of guys ask, well, what's the worst case scenario? I don't know. The Earth gets hit by a meteor, and EMP blows up, the electrical grid. Like, not much can really take down the blockchain at this stage, really.
Yeah. We got some super chats I want to catch up on. Black Magic 553 $5 super chats is Trillion Cell video said 235,000 active users equals 27 cell. Here we are at 226.50 active user, and price is 622, way off. Well, he doesn't work for Celsius. Yeah. Well, then there are two parts. One, he doesn't work for Celsius, and two, it could be undervalued. Dude, like, you have to just realize Celsius has the most cryptocurrency in possession of any company on the planet. They have more than Grayscale, and Grayscale has
right?
Yes.
They actually hold more than those funds, eh?
Yes. What is it? What's the exact number? Do you know?
Miguel might know because he just pulled up the app, but they have something crazy. Like, they have over $10 billion in assets under management. That's for damn sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But they basically, we were talking about this with Kevin on one of the live streams we were doing on DCC show for a bit. It's like, he who has the Bitcoin makes the rules. They're starting to acquire a lot of companies. They've bought up a lot of coins, right? So these types of I forgot exactly where I was going with that last point, but the last part I wanted to make on that other point was essentially these custody-based services is what everybody will flock to, because people will be all using cryptocurrency, but they won't want to hold their Bitcoin themselves. So they will be using custody services like Celsius, like actually all federal banks in the United States as of last year are legally okay to be custodying your cryptocurrency.
How safe is Celsius? Like, is your balance insured up to a certain amount, or how does that work?
So you can, it's not insured right now. You can get right now in crypto, insurance is actually a very new thing that's coming out. It's kind of like if you basically look at crypto and be like, okay, what financial services do we not have yet? They're coming. And so there's this project called Nexus Mutual. The token for that is NXM. And that company is attempting right now to do decentralized insurance for things like Celsius. For Celsius, basically, if you go to the security and look at who's running the security, they have, to be honest, nobody wanted Celsius to get as high as they got, right? They had a lot of enemies and a lot of people trying to take them down, and a lot of competitors. And those competitors, I guarantee you, have tried to hack them. But basically, they have a team which is based through Israeli security. And so those guys, pretty good at white hat hacking, and essentially are some of the best security teams you can get. So it seems like at the moment that they've been pretty good at not being hacked. And I would say most of these exchanges, once they get to that size where they're like $10 billion or more, same with Binance, right? Binance is one of the largest exchanges. And even they got hacked. But when they got hacked, it was like 0.1% of funds were stolen, or not even that much. It was a very minimal amount. So it's unlikely because these guys are professionals and they're taking care of their business. Alex Mashinsky, who runs Celsius, he's a literal billionaire, and he's run businesses for over 30 years. So many companies.
We're talking on his technology right now. He invented voice over IP, which is like voice over the internet protocol. So that's pretty insane.
Yeah. It's funny, dude. Mashinsky, he's like 70 something, right? He's like 70.
He's getting up there. I don't know how old he is exactly.
He's probably in the late 60s, somewhere in the 60s, probably.
I'm pretty sure he's 70. Let me see. Alex Mashinsky. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's on TRT because he is just hyped up when he fucking does these.
Yeah, you're probably right.
He does these things. Let me see. He is. Go ahead, Miguel.
Oh, I was just going to say, yeah. So Celsius has $17 billion under management and 81,000 BTC in deposits.
Wait, say that again?
$17 billion in assets and 81,000 BTC. It's a couple BTC short of 82,000 BTC. So this is something
I've been public information on how many people that have coins staked on Celsius are earning it in Cell versus in like.
In Cell, I would say it's about 57% to 60% are earning in Cell.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and that number, that's a number that I always watch, is how much Bitcoin. So I pretty much my numbers on Bitcoin so I was saying this early last year when the token was about I would say like 25 cents. Mm-hmm. Now it's $6. I was saying that there was going to be over 250,000 BTC on the app by the end of this next year, to about 400,000, and it's looking like it's going to hit somewhere between 300 to 400,000 BTC on app by the end of the year. That's going to make it one of the largest holders of BTC on the planet. Period.
I'm already an asshole, but if I had 81,000 Bitcoin, I would be a super asshole.
I think we'd be like, Jonathan, we're gonna have to take some of that for you, just to get you a little bit of less.
Oh man, Scott with the $9.99 super chat. He is the guy with the biggest balls in our audience because he bought Bitcoin when it was at 4,000 at the Corona crash. It literally hit 4,000. He's like, screw it, I'm gonna buy Bitcoin.
Hey, don't forget Greg, dip buyer of the year 2019.
What did he? Greg?
For 2020. Yeah, Greg B as well bought in the dip.
Oh, did he? Good for him.
Oh yeah, gotta give Greg a shout out. He's been watching my show since I was 5 subscribers.
Greg was in Body Language Mastery Q1, the first launch ever. First one.
No, but Scott knows his shit, man. He's been paying attention to crypto. He's one of the guys who's done very well. Victor as well on the show yesterday, mentioning basically he's like, "Am I going to be a millionaire?" It's like pretty much.
Yep,
pretty much.
Let me catch up with super chats. Scott, 99 super chat says, "Thanks for everything you do. I truly enjoy the show. I'm so grateful that I have good information. Keep learning about the digital economy every day." Ryan Sullivan with the $20 super chat says, What I love about cryptocurrencies, it gives the new guy on the block an edge on wealthy people still trying to figure this stuff out. Cryptocurrency is a young man's game. I will tell you that. I talk to normies about cryptocurrency and they think I'm crazy. You're heading in the right direction.
Don't tweet like 20 tweets at somebody, and maybe if you settle down a little bit, they'll take you more seriously.
Kal-El, son of Krypton, son of Jor-El, says Canadian $6.99 super chat. Underrated collaboration. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. All of us here on the panel does. And Ryan Sullivan with another $10 super chat says, do you see stocks as a complement to cryptocurrencies? Take dividend payments and pipeline them into cryptocurrency. I think that's a solid move right there. Personally,
you want other assets as well, right? Real estate being one that's you definitely want some of. Definitely. And real estate's going to be tokenized. It's going to be great. Like you're going to have NFTs for your real estate properties as well. Like people shit talk NFTs, shit talk Gary Vee all they want, but it's a way to visualize Ethereum based contracts, right? And so you're going to have this governments taking advantage of that. You're going to have landlords taking advantage of that. It's going to get really, really interesting.
Everything that can be tokenized will be tokenized. Even income from YouTubers at some point will be tokenized. You'll be able to buy you
got Amir's new company, Dollar Cake, coming out very soon, where you can earn native crypto on top of your ad revenue. It's an overlay on Chrome. He's been testing it for the last year. It should be out soon.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So looking like this guy says part-time philosoph. I'm waiting for 2,750 to sell my 2 Ethereum. You will regret that.
Don't sell it.
You will regret that.
He'll watch it go to 3,000 and be like, yeah.
Nah, he'll sell.
You guys know that you can borrow against your crypto if you need money, right?
Say that again, Rich.
You guys know you can borrow against crypto if you need money. Like if you've held, like it's like a house, okay? Like if you have a house and it's paid off, you have an asset that you can borrow against with a home equity line of credit at a low rate of interest. That's basically what most cryptocurrencies are. Like that's what Celsius is. I mean, if you want to borrow cash against your crypto, put it on deposit there and borrow it. You pay. It's very low interest. If that's what you want to do, but you can acquire cash that way too, and it's tax free. I mean, it's tax free here. I don't know what it's like in the U.S. or other places of the world, but you can do that tax free basically.
It's tax free in the United States.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's a good strategy.
We got another super chat. Sans Pure 91 199 super chat says, so top 5 crypto: 1 Bitcoin, 2 Ethereum, 3.4 Celsius, 5 Uniswap. I mean,
solid list.
Yeah, I think that's a solid list for sure. I don't think that's anything. If that's all that was in my bags, I feel total peace of mind right there.
Oh hell yeah.
What's the deal with Cardano? I mean, you guys have talked about it before, but it sounds like you're going cold on it.
We've always been cold on it. Go ahead, Charlie. Go ahead.
The simplest way to put it is, in terms of price, it's one of the biggest gainers in the bull market so far. Mm-hmm. So its price will continue to increase. People believe in it, has a good narrative, has good marketing, but it doesn't have any projects actually being formed on it, right? Okay. So that's the thing, is it's one of those that's still doing well from 2017 on what we call vaporware. Just a software that doesn't have just a lot of promises and no delivery yet. Whereas
you're basically saying look for an exit strategy when you've made the money that you want and put it in something else.
Correct.
Noted.
Yeah. Yep. And then Polkadot and Ethereum, they have ecosystems that are flourishing, so much better in my opinion.
There's it's probably Polkadot's probably the most likely, not competitor because it's helping Ethereum out, but there's actually a ton of projects, and there's serious projects with serious money backing them. So that's like pretty much what gave Ethereum its original essentially stickiness was basically speculation, because there was so much speculation on the tokens. On the other tokens, people had to buy Ethereum to then play around in that ecosystem, and Ethereum got big off of basically bringing the IPO into the ICO for normal people, because before Ethereum, you had to be a VC to get in early in projects. Now normal people can just get in early, and that's where a lot of people made a lot of their money, is buying a lot of the tokens that you guys know now were bought in 2017, 2016 off of ICOs.
Yep. Yeah. So look, between my channel and Charlie's channel right now, we got 585 people watching us. The show is only going to grow in popularity, so do hit that like button. But we're going to wrap it up here. We want to say, like, guys, just keep paying attention to the channels here. Rich, he owns Entrepreneurs in Cars. YouTube channel, talks about making money, thinking outside the box, all things that you cryptocurrency guys out there definitely stand with him and your belief system, quality content. As you know, Charlie, every single day, Cultivate Crypto YouTube channel, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Me, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow, I'm launching the Masculine Empowerment Network. It is an all men's network where we have everything that you need to become a better man, how to make money, how to make muscles, how to learn girls, learn how to handle women. Because, you know, once we all get money, we're all men. We like women and we want women. How to not get fleeced, how to choose the right girl, how to not get robbed, how to not get taken to divorce court. Dollar Cost Crypto has just launched his YouTube channel, and he's doing live streams every week.
Yep.
Moon Gang, where you'll find me, Charlie, and then hopefully Rich will come on Moon Gang eventually one day. And
When's that?
yeah,
That's on Sunday, right?
Yeah, Sunday, 10 p.m. Eastern, anytime. Feel free.
I'm pretty much cooked by that time. I'm in bed. I'm an old man.
I
I get up early. I'm an early riser.
Yep.
Let's catch up. Let's catch up some super chats, and we'll close down the doors here. I flipped my 88 into sell about a month ago. Thanks so much, Ryan. And Black Magic 553 says $5 super chat says Willy Woo, Plan B, BitBoy, Crypto all says we are to see 300,000 Bitcoin before the end of the year. What do you say? Before the end of the year, 300K?
It's pretty ambitious.
So, yeah, it is pretty
ambitious.
ambitious. It's one of those things where you get these people who are, you know, I would say their arguments, they have some solid arguments. So I'll give them that. And I don't think it's impossible, but I do think more likely that we, you know, if we have a more gradual increase going into 2022, that would be more healthy for all markets. And, you know, I tend to be leaning more towards the lengthening cycle theory where each halving has an impact, but a little bit less and less. And then it takes a little bit longer to pump up the market. So, you know, we'll see what happens. Either way, we're getting there. So don't worry too much about the timing of it, and just make sure you have a plan, you know, along the way. That's why we do the crypto mindset course once a quarter this year, so that, you know, you guys can have that, you know, throughout the bull market. So take advantage of that, because that's not going to last forever either.
Yep. So that's going to be it, man. We appreciate you guys for watching us. Be sure to hit the subscribe button on all our channels. And we'll see you next week here, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Charlie tomorrow live. I'm live. Until then, have a wonderful day. Don't get too degen on us. We'll see you soon. Peace out.